here. All right, so the topic that I have been asked to speak on today is standing your ground. There's one for I'll be all right. So it's so funny that Lisa Lett talked about some of the things that we've heard today and some of the things that are also in my message on today. So that's even more confirmation for everyone. Yes. Because today, even though I've been introduced as Coach Derica, I really want to introduce you to my alter ego. I am. Can I bring I am out today?
Yes.
Okay. So standing your ground. As Tanisha said, we've had a lot of personal conversations over the last couple months, and I was at a point coming from a previous company where I started to experience a depression. I was really, really depressed, and for those of you who have followed me in TLC, you know I was I was known for losing 80 pounds.
Yes.
And I'm like, this weight's coming back on.
Right.
I mean, what's going on here? There's a problem. And, you know, I started to become very sad, very depressed, but also I knew, and I've always known, even from a little girl, that I was meant to be powerful. I know I was. Couldn't nobody tell me different. I always was a loner. I always stood out from the crowd. And the thing is that I used to think that was a bad thing. I used to try to fit in, but I could never fit in. And so I got to a point where I was just, okay, this is what it is. Even my dad is a pastor, y'all. He tried to stop me from going forward in church.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And I finally told him after the third attempt.
Wow.
I looked up at him. My dad stands 6'5". I said, Dad, I'm going to the Lord. And I pushed him to the side, y'all, and I walked up there and I gave my life. But see, here's the thing. This was the confirmation for me even as a little girl. That time, that night when I got saved, okay, there was a presence that visited my room. And let me tell you something. I was absolutely terrified because I didn't know what it was, because the presence was trying to attack me in my sleep. You understand? I couldn't breathe. It was like a weight was on my chest, and it terrified me and it scared me. And from that point on, there was also a peacefulness that came over me that let me know, you are anointed. I got something for you.
Yes.
And what I got for you, I want you to give to everyone else.
Yep.
And so, as I stand here today, standing my ground, okay, we all have to get to a point where we have to stand our ground. But in order for you to be able to stand your ground, you have to know your purpose.
Yes.
And as you guys heard from me before, I talked about I knew that it was there, but I didn't know how to put it all together. Because I see puzzles and I see visions and things like that. And I'm so in my head to the point where I would get migraines. Migraines would just put me down, fetal position for days. And so I couldn't figure it out, but I knew that there was something more from my previous company. Something is wrong here. I love leadership. I love mentorship. But when you start to wonder, why is this leadership and mentorship not pushing me forward? When you start to feel like the leadership and mentorship is trying to keep you back, that they're okay as long as you don't pass them.
Yeah.
But when they look at you and they tell you, you are a threat. You are a threat. Huh. Well, why am I a threat? I don't bother nobody.
Right.
I mind my own business. I do what y'all say do. But something ain't working. Something isn't right. So when you start to question yourself, because I'm sure many of us have, it's not you that's questioning yourself, it's your spirit questioning you. What are you doing? This is not where you're supposed to be. You are supposed to be doing something else. But when you think that you're standing your ground, because I did, I thought I was standing my ground to stay.
Wow.
Okay? And that's what we get confused at. We think we're supposed to stay. But really, it was the Spirit standing its ground to prepare me to leave. You understand? Because I thought that I was supposed to speak with TLC. I thought that I had arrived when I joined up with my previous company. I thought that this is what I've been seeing, finally. But it seemed like every time, and I would go up there, go. No. I just didn't feel it. And for me, if I don't feel it, I can't do it to the best of my ability. Okay? And people used to tell me that I needed to work on my my resting face. Because they say, gosh, girl, you wear your emotions on your face. I can tell when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're irritated, aggravated. I can just tell. You just can't fake it. And I can't. And so in order for me to avoid people, I started creating a bubble for myself.
Yeah.
And I would stay away from people because people just couldn't understand me.
Right.
The people that I was hanging with, and I'm not, and you guys, I want to say this to a point where you don't think that I'm being snobby or bougie, but they just didn't understand me. They weren't on my level.
Right.
They weren't on my level.
Right.
You understand? And I knew that there was more for me. And when I really started to study, and I actually paid for training to understand the subconscious mind.
Yes.
And understanding how powerful the subconscious mind is. But also I began to understand how much power we have over our subconscious mind.
Yeah.
See, I grew up in a world where we were ruled by fear.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
My dad was a ruler of fear, not respect. And he picked the Bible principles that suited him.
Right.
I
Right.
like my dad.
Right.
I was a daddy's girl.
Right.
But he was a very prideful man. So guess what I took on? I took on pride.
Mm.
I was very passive aggressive. Okay? I knew that I was meant for something greater. Okay? And if anybody tried to tell me I wasn't, oh no, you're lying. I ain't figured it out yet, but I know I'm meant for something greater. So my dad, he used to always tell us, he had a favorite phrase. And he said, do as I say do, not as I do. That's a twisted phrase.
Absolutely.
Okay? Because if you're seeing someone do something, you are naturally going to start doing it if this is who you hang around.
Yep.
Okay? Because it's going to attach itself to you. And that's why they say if you want to be successful, choose your circle.
Yes.
You hear about people say, well, where does your source come from? Where is your knowledge coming from? And see, this is one of the things that with that phrase I have a problem with this phrase. Do as I do, not as I say do. Or do as I say do, not as I do. I said it right the first time. But I had a problem with that because it confused me. It confused my mind. Because see, the subconscious mind doesn't really know the difference between right or wrong. It only knows what you tell it.
Yep.
And so I often say, I say to my children often, be careful what you say because you are listening. So if you tell yourself, I can't do this, guess what?
Can't do
You're
it.
not going to do it. If you tell yourself, you know what, I'm so depressed, I'm so miserable, I'm just a failure, then guess what you are? You are exactly what you just said. Because just like we talk about affirmations, and we talk about all these many different things, the power of the tongue, the power of the mind, the power. This is not fake. This is not hype. This is real stuff. This stuff is real. The subconscious mind can be reprogrammed. Did you guys know that? You can reprogram your subconscious mind to act and believe whatever it is that you want it to believe. So if you want to be a winner, start telling yourself you're a winner. Okay? If you want to be successful, start telling yourself you're successful. If you want to be thin, start telling yourself you're thin. Because see, what's going to happen is it's going to come back to you. As we talk about the universe, we talk about God, we talk about all these many things. It has no choice but to come back to you, whatever it is that you put out there. So if you want to reap good things, then you have to sow good things. And I know you guys have probably seen the quote before. Just because you plant the tree today doesn't mean you eat the fruit today. And a lot of times we get so impatient and we get so, discouraged because things don't happen for us right then. And then we're like, oh, this ain't right. But see, here's the difference. This is what I went through. I knew that what I was doing was out of alignment with my purpose. But I understood that if it hadn't been for me actually getting in my previous company, I would have never met.
Yes.
My mentor.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we have to go through a little bit of a storm. Sometimes we have to go through a little bit of things that might make us feel uncomfortable and out of our normal territory. Because what it's doing is it's prepping you. Okay? It's prepping you. And when you think that a lot of times people may have your back, they see in you what you don't see in yourself. Okay? They atmosphere because, oh my God, what would happen if you seen it? What would happen? And that is when you start to understand you have to be careful about who you tell your storm to.
Yes.
You have to be careful about what you speak out in the atmosphere. Because just like you are listening, well, the enemy is too. And do you realize that the enemy will take your own words and devise a plan of distraction for you to prevent you from moving forward to your destiny?
Come on.
Okay? And that's something I had to realize. Because I would be having these conversations with God and I would just be talking and talking and talking. And then it'd be so funny that the things that I was sitting here talking to him about would start happening even more. I'm like, come on, we just talked about this. You know, I mean, this is how I talk. This is how we talk. And I'm just like, this can't be happening to me. But I had to realize that, and if you don't, there's no problem. I mean, it doesn't make you any different or any less than anyone else. But I came to a point, I know when I'm out of alignment with my purpose, because when I speak to God, I speak to him in a spirit. It's spirit to spirit, it's spirit to spirit. So when I'm speaking to him as Derica, I know I'm out of alignment. So I have to speak to him because sometimes some things you say to him, no one else needs to hear.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
So I had to speak to him like this. Even preparing for this, I took this seriously.
Yeah.
I had to speak to him. I had to go through a fasting period because I had to cleanse my mind.
Yeah.
I had to. People ask me, well, dang, Coach Derek, you don't do any lives no more. Like, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? Why do lives where I'm supposed to do lives at?
Yes.
So Spirit told me that right now, I don't want you to do any lives.
Come on.
Right now, I need you to come here.
Come on.
I need you to receive what it is that you're going to receive right here.
Come on.
Because when you come from here, you're going to be ready. You see what I'm saying? And so where I'm at right now is where I really, really want you to understand. And this is the point that allowed me to be able to move forward because I was dealing with something that we all deal with, and that's called fear. Okay? I want you guys to understand. Fear did not die for you. Okay? Worry did not die for you. Anxiety did not die for you. Depression did not die for you. Who died for you? Whether you believe it or you don't. We have to stop dying to fear. Because fear is going to keep you from experiencing and walking in your purpose. It's going to prevent it from manifesting. And the only person that's going to allow that to happen is yourself. So once you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm greater than fear.
I know that's right.
I'm bigger than fear.
Absolutely.
Anxiety, what's that?
Absolutely.
I don't have to be that way.
Absolutely.
I don't have to do that. I don't have to accept it, and I don't have to put it out there in the atmosphere.
Nope.
Because see what happens when you start putting that stuff out in the atmosphere, when you know it's time for you to make a move, and you know your season is done somewhere else, you know it's time for you to go.
Come on.
You guys,
Be quiet.
I like animals. I study animals.
Come on.
And I love lions and things like that. But has anybody ever taken time to study a cheetah?
Absolutely.
Do you know that a cheetah's spine and its brain is connected? Have you ever watched a cheetah chase its prey?
Yeah.
And you ever notice its head never moves off its target?
Come on.
Its body can go this way and that way and this way and that way, but it never loses focus off of its target.
Come on.
Okay?
Come on.
And the thing I really love about a cheetah is that even looking in that hot place in the desert, you know, you see illusions.
Come on.
And you see mirages,
Come on.
right?
Yeah.
But he never loses track of his target. And when you start talking and getting counsel from the wrong people, they start throwing all this distractions and stuff in your way, and you can't even focus because you're so busy taking owning this stuff.
Come on.
And then you can't really see where it is that you're going because you haven't been like the cheetah and you took your eye off the target. All because you believe that you are not powerful and capable enough to follow what's already within you.
Right.
Now, if it's in you to tell you to go, it's time for us to stop staying in that season with that dead fruit longer than we're supposed to.
Come on.
And it's time for us to go ahead and move and plant our seeds where we're supposed to go. So, when I came to that realization, you guys, I realized my time is now.
Come on.
It's now.
Absolutely.
And if I don't accept it, then what am I doing?
Come on.
What am I even doing this for?
Right.
Come on.
What am I doing this for?
Come on.
And you guys, when you start to do that, and when you start to really see it and believe it, you even notice that the people that you have conversations with change.
Yes.
You can't talk.
To
Who are you
everybody.
talking to?
Exactly.
You can't talk to me like this.
Come on.
That's right.
Right?
Come on.
I can't even have a conversation with you like this.
Come on.
You know what? Let me shut off this TV and let me read this book.
Come on.
Let me go ahead and put that down, because that's no good for me, because see, that right there is going to stop me from getting to my purpose.
Come on.
You know, I'm sorry it's been good, but see, you're a mirage. Because see, my target right there, I see clearly now, is just a distraction.
Come on.
So we have to get to the point where we move past the distractions, because that's what it is. You're either your own distraction, or you have given somebody else permission to be a distraction in your
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely.
Okay? That's really all I have for today.
Come on, girl.
So,